Assalamualaikum everyone. In today's video, we are going to discuss about a very important chapter, and this chapter is about introduction of cardiovascular system. So now we are going to start this chapter series from the Jaypee book. So before we are going to start our lecture, I request you to please to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and also share it with your friends and relatives. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of all the videos which I have uploaded. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Now let's start the lecture. So in this chapter we are going to discuss what is the cardiovascular system, what are the cardiac muscles, and we also discuss about the cardiac cycle, ECG, and about like all the chapters are converted are included in this in the other session of the videos. Okay, so now let's start the lecture. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So in the cardiovascular system, you know very well that the cardiovascular system is composed of two things. Okay, what is going to compose first? If you see its words composition, it composes of the word cardio, and second is the vasculars. Okay, so the word cardio means our heart. So one thing I want to tell you about that I am drawing heart like this. Okay, and this is my style to teach. So a vascular system means your all the blood vessels. This is your blood vessels. Okay, so I focus on drawing the diagram more than the written explanation. So I hope that you will understand this video with all the concept which I have to about tell to you. So first we are going to cover these two things. We discuss about the heart, that what is his heart, and then we discuss what are the blood vessels which are present in our body. So first we are going to dealing with this heart, which is very important organ of our body. So now let's start. So the cardiovascular system, here you can see it is written that cardiovascular system include heart and your blood vessels. So what is the function of your heart? That heart is going to pump your blood into your blood vessels, and the blood vessels circulate this blood into whole your body. Okay, and transport blood, and the function of the blood is to transport all the nutrients and all the oxygens to all the cells which they needed. Okay, and also it removes the carbon dioxide and waste out of the every cell. So now let's start discussion about the heart. So first of all, you are going to define that what is heart. So heart is actually a muscular organ which is composed of muscles, and the function of heart is that it pumps the blood throughout your circulatory system. And then the second is location. It is location is between the two lungs in the mediastinum. So mediastinum is the portion between the two lungs, so it is present between the two lungs, but carefully mentioned that it is tilted more toward the left side of your body. So and now next you will discuss that it is composed of four chambers. You know, we have two arteria and two ventricles. Okay, so and then there is written that the musculature of ventricles is more thicker than the artery, and the force of contraction is depend upon these muscles. So it's mean the force of contraction is greater in the ventricles because they have high musculature nature. And you know very well the function of muscles is to contract and to produce the force to expel the blood out of the heart into your whole body. So the ventricles is transporting your whole blood into your whole body, so it needs a very large force to force this blood to move go in whole body. So therefore it has strong musculature. So after discussing the definition, the location, and the four chambers, now we discuss the left side of the heart. Means now we are going to see in the detail of these chambers. So first we are going to see what are the parts of the right side of your heart. Then we will go to discuss the left side of your heart. So first, the right side of your heart is again composed of two chambers. The upper chambers is called as um, right atrium, and the lower chamber is called as right ventricle. Okay, so the right atrium is very thin walled, it has very thinny layer, and has low pressure. Okay, and it goes the pacemaker at which is called as SA node. It can be written as like that, SANODE. Okay, sorry for the bad writing. So It also produces cardiac impulses and AV node that conduct the impulses to the ventricles. So what you are going to discuss first, you have discussed what is the right side of heart, then you will discuss that it composed of very thin wall, and then you will discuss that what are the nodes present in it. So it composed of SA node and also composed of and then this SA node produce electrical impulses and conduct to the what AV node. Okay, so next thing you will discuss that what kind of blood enter your right atrium. So the right atrium is going to receive your deoxygenated blood. Okay, from the two large veins. And what are these veins? Supravena cava, which can be called as SVA. So in everywhere I am going to mention supravena cava as SVC. Okay, so it return the venous blood from your head, neck and upper limbs. Upper limbs means your arms. Okay, so the upper part blood is going into your superior vena cava, and then it is going to your right atrium as a deoxygenated blood. So which means the deoxygenated blood from your brain, from your head, from your shoulders, from your arms is going to supra vena cava SVC. Now the second right atrium is the inferior vena cava. It could be mentioned as IBC. So I am going to write it like that. So it returns the blood from the lower part of your body, means from your legs, from your abdominal part, from your thoracic part. So all of these veins are enter into your inferior vena cava, and then they goes to your right atrium. Okay, so right atrium communicates with the right ventricle. So right ventricle से किस तरह communicate होगा? By a valve, and this valve is called as tricuspid valve. Okay, so always remember that a tricuspid valve is present in the right portion of your heart. And why we are calling it tricuspid? Because it is composed of three flaps. Okay, so therefore these three flaps, it is given the name of tricuspids. So the wall of right ventricle. Now after completing the information about the right atrium, you are going to what conclude what is right ventricle. So right ventricle has thick musculature, and the blood from the right atrium is going to your right ventricle through this tricuspid wall. Okay, so from the right ventricle pulmonary artery, and this pulmonary artery is carrying deoxygenated blood. Okay, so this is the first artery, pulmonary artery, which is carrying deoxygenated blood, while all the other arteries is going to carry your oxygenated blood. Okay, so this pulmonary artery is going to what? Your lungs. Okay, so the left this pulmonary artery is divided and into left and right, and then they goes to your left lung and your right lung. Okay, and what is going to do, they are transporting your deoxygenated blood to your lungs, and then lungs, what is going to do, lungs is converting your this deoxygenated blood into the oxygenated blood by removing carbon dioxide. Okay, so as you can see in the structure of heart, so this is the structure of heart. You can see it is composed of this is the right atrium and this is the right ventricle. Sorry for that, it is wrongly mentioned. So this is the right atrium and this is the right ventricle. Okay, this is the left portion of your heart, this is the right portion of your heart. Okay, so now you can, as you can see here, first your blood is going to move at this part. So this is the supravena cava, and this is coming from your head. I am mentioning this is head. So from head blood is going to this supravena cava. From your shoulders, एस से मैं शोल्डर्स डोनेट कर रही हूँ और ए से मैं आर्म डोनेट कर रही हूँ. सो शोल्डर से भी ब्लड यहीं पर आ रहा है, आर्म से भी ब्लड यहीं पर आ रहा है, मतलब ऊपर वाले पार्ट से सारा ब्लड कहाँ आ रहा है? सुप्रावेना कैवा में. देन द ब्लड फ्रॉम द लोअर पार्ट, फॉर एग्जांपल योर लोअर पार्ट्स मीन्स योर लेग्स, योर लोअर एब्डोमिनल पार्ट. ठीक है, एब्डोमिनल पार्ट को मैं ए से डोनेट कर रही हूँ. So all the blood from the legs and from your abdomen is going to your inferior vena cava. Then so by moving to inferior, this inferior vena cava from below side move to this atrium. Okay, so it is not in the below part, it is going to on the back side of your heart. Okay, so after moving the right atrium, what is going to do, this blood is going to move into your right ventricle. Okay, through this veil, which is called as tricuspid veil. Actually it has three flaps, as I can draw here. So how it has three flaps, it is first flap is like that, second is that, third is that. Okay, I have drawn a large a part of it, and I have drawn a zoom part of it, but it is very small in nature. So like that, it has three flaps. Now blood is moving to your right ventricle. After moving to the right ventricle, it goes to your what, pulmonary artery. So this pulmonary artery is divided into left and right pulmonary artery. Then from left and right pulmonary artery is going to your what, lungs. So it is going to like that. Okay, as I can draw here. So this is your lungs. For example, I can draw here. Sorry for the bad drawing, but it's very difficult to draw on the screen of mobile. So sorry for the bad writing. So here you can see here, okay, left pulmonary artery is going to give the blood of your into your left lungs, and the right pulmonary artery is going to give your blood to your right lungs. So this is like things. So I hope that you will understand the right side of your heart. Now we are going to discuss the left side of your heart. So now what things are composed of it, as you explain the right side of heart, as you can explain the left side of your heart. So left side of your heart again composed of two components, two chambers, which is called as left atrium and left ventricle. So left atrium, as you know, it is thin walled and has low pressure, because and a really important thing to mention in this chamber is that it composed of oxygenated blood, means pure oxygenated blood is going to enter into these chambers. Okay, so where the oxygenated blood comes in the left atrium. So right atrium is going to receive your oxygenated blood from your lungs. Okay, so now lungs is giving your oxygenated blood back into the heart. Okay, so the pulmonary veins are coming out of your lungs, and they are entering into your what, left atrium. Okay, and pulmonary vein especially is a vein which carries your oxygenated blood. Okay, so now after entering into the left atrium, it goes to your left ventricle through a valve which is called as what, yes, bicuspid valve, and it's also called as mitral valve. Okay, so we called it bicuspid because the word bi mean two, so it composed of two flaps, so therefore it is called as bicuspid valve. So and after entering into your left ventricle, you know, left ventricle has thick musculature and is going to pump all of your blood into your whole body. Okay, so through what it is going to transport, it is transporting through a systematic aorta. So aorta is giving and descending back, and then it is going to divide into various branches of arteries, arterioles, and then it is giving a whole your oxygenated blood to your whole body. So as you can see here in the diagram, so this is the left side of your heart, and you can see here, sorry for that, yes, so this and these are the two pulmonary veins which are coming out of your lungs. Okay, from the right lung and the left lung. So it is going your oxygenated blood into your what, your right right, I'm so sorry, left atrium. Okay, after entering to left atrium, it is going to face your bicuspid valve, and after that it is going to enter your left ventricle. And you can see here the thick musculature of this left ventricle, and then it is going into your aorta. Okay, so this red colored aorta is going to you, and this aorta is divided into three parts. It is going to give blood to your the upper part, for example your head, your shoulder, your arm. And this the first aorta division, it is going to supply your coronary artery. Okay, so coronary artery is an artery which supply blood to the musculature of heart. Heart also need a blood, oxygenated blood for its functioning. So therefore, this coronary artery is going to also supply blood to your heart. So now this aorta descends down. Okay, after backside of your heart, this aorta is going to descend down, and then it is going to divide into various arteries and arterioles. Okay, and that like structure, and moving whole blood into your body. So after covering the left and the right side of your heart, now we see what are the septa which is present in your heart. So as you know that the right arteria and the right left and the right arterium, both of them contain oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So it is really important to separate them. Okay, if you can imagine, if our oxygenated and deoxygenated blood can mix up, then how dangerous thing it is, that it is going to be your blood mixing and you cannot get your pure oxygenated blood. So this is very important to separate these chambers, and septa is playing its important role in separation of these chambers. So your right atrium and your left atrium is going to be separated by a fibrous spectrum which is called as arterial spectrum. So interward mean between, arteria means two arteria, okay, left atrium and right atrium, and septum means septums. So this septum is going to present between your left and your right arteria. So as I can mention here, so this is the septa. Actually this is the due to the presence of aorta and the pulmonary vein, you cannot see the septa here, but the septa is present between both of these chamber, as I draw with the blue line. So you can see this is the interarterial septum. Okay, now there is another septum which is present between the two ventricles, and this septum is called as interventricular septum. So it is going to divide your what? Yes, your right ventricle and your left ventricle, because it is very important, because both of these ventricle contain opposite blood. Okay, oxygenated, one is containing oxygenated blood, other is containing deoxygenated blood. So it is really 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 important to separate them. Okay, so these are the two septa which is present in your heart. Now if I give you an amazing fact, so this amazing fact, and you will be really shocked to hear it, that your small amount of blood is going to mix up. Okay, and in what part your blood is going to mix up? In your liver. In your liver, a small amount of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is going to mix up. Okay, and in some people's the whole blood is going to mix up. Okay, due to absence of this spectra. And if the babies are born due to this disease, they are called as blue babies, because their skin turns into the blue color. Okay, and in some people, and if you see the normal people without this disease, some amount of blood is going to mix up. Okay, so it is really essential for the functioning of liver, and it is going to mix up, but it is not really harmful for us, because only 2% of the blood is going to mix up, not whole amount. Okay, so but in some people whole blood can also mix up, and their skin turns into the blue color. Okay, so now the next is the about the layers of heart, that what are the layering of your heart. So as the other organs, heart is also composed of three layers, because heart also need protection. Okay, from the shock, from other compression and relaxation. So it also need a protection and also need musculature nature, so therefore it also composed of three layers. What are these three layers? First is the outer layer, which is called as outer pericardium, middle myocardium, inner is endocardium. So now we discuss all of these three layers one by one. First we discuss that what is pericardium. Pericardium is the outer covering of your heart, made up of two layers. Okay, outer parietal and inner visceral. Okay, always the inner layer is always going to be visceral, because the word visceral means inner. Okay, visceral means deep layering. Okay, and always the word parietal means outer layering. Okay, so this pericardium is again divided into outer and inner pericardium. Actually there's a difference, and there is a space between the outer parietal myocardium and inner visceral cardium, and this space is called as pericardial cavity and pericardial space. And this space is going to contain a fluid which is called as pericardial fluid. And what is the purpose of this fluid? Actually, it is going to decrease the friction. Actually, when your heart is going to contract and you relax, there is a chance of production of friction. So to decrease this friction, we need a fluid which can decrease and which can lubricate the layers of your heart. Okay, so this fluid is going to protect your heart. So first we discuss the outer parietal layer. Okay, so the parietal pericardium forms strong protective sac around your heart, and it also helps to anchor the heart within its mediastinum. So always the word anchor means to fix. Okay, means it is going to fix your heart at one position. It doesn't allow your heart to move up and down and right and back. It is going to fix your heart, because heart is going to contract and relax with the large whole amount of force. So there is a chance that it could be a move up and down. So therefore the function of your outer parietal layer is to anchor heart into a fixed position, don't allow it to move up and down and right and back. So now there is again division of a parietal outer parietal layer, and it is again made up of two layers, which is a fibrous layer and the sebaceous layer. So you know very well that the fibrous layer is again composed of fibers, and the sebaceous layer is composed of your connective tissues. Okay, and also contain a fluid which prevent the contraction friction. So the total volume of this fluid is at about 25 to 35 ml. Okay, so now we revise what are the layers of the heart. So first we discuss that the heart has three layers: outer, parietal, middle, mediastinum, myocardium, and the inner is the endocardium. So first we have discussed the pericardium. So pericardium is the outermost layer of the heart, and it is again divided into the two layers. First is the outer parietal and inner visceral. So outer parietal is the outermost layer of the heart, and between these two layers there is a space, there is a cavity which is full of fluid. Which is full of fluid. Okay, then we see that the outer parietal layer is again composed of two layers. First is the outer fibrous layer and sebaceous layer. So they are composed of fibrous and the connective tissues. Then we see that the volume of fluid which is going to fill between the two layers is about 25 to 35 ml. Then the inner visceral layer, and this inner visceral layer is composed of a myocardium and the flattened epithelium cells. So it is can be called as epicardium. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the second layer of your myocardium, and this myocardium is composed of the middle layer of your heart, and it is going to compose your cardiac muscle. Actually, you know that heart is going to contract and relax. For the contraction and relaxation, heart need muscles. So the muscle is going to provided by this second layer, which is called as what? Myocardium. The word myo mean muscles and cardium mean heart, so it is going to compose your heart muscles. So it composed of your heart muscle fibers and some heart cardiac myocytes. So always the word myo mean muscle and sites mean what? Cells. So it composed of your muscle cells and muscles fibers. So it is what is the function of this layer? It is going to pump your whole blood into your body. So now there is a detail of cardiac muscle in this chapter. So actually I don't want to explain this explanation of the cardiac muscle here, because I think there is no need of it. First we discuss the heart actually, and this is the next topic which is about the cardiac muscle, and we are going to discuss it in the next lecture. So but now we are going to discuss the third layer of heart, which is what? Endocardium. So endocardium is the innermost layer of your heart, made up of some thin and smooth muscles, and it also formed it is formed by the cells which is called as endothelial cell, and it formed the innermost layer of your heart, and it also composed of your blood vessel. So after discussing the definition, the location, the chambers of your heart, and the septa and the layering of your heart. Now we are going to discuss the valves of your heart, that what kind of valves are present in your heart. So our heart is composed of four valves. The two valves I have explained that they are between the arteria and the ventricle. So the first valve, which is between your arterial and ventricle, is called as arterioventricular valves. Okay, so due to the location between the artery and ventricle, they are called as arterioventricular valves. And the second type of valve which is present in your body is the semilunar valve. So semilunar valve is present in your in your aorta and in your pulmonary artery. Okay, so what why they are calling as semilunar? Because their shape is like half moon. So semi mean half and lunar mean moon, so their shape is like the half moon, so therefore they are called as semilunar wave. Okay, so first we are going to discuss what is the arterioventricular waves. And these arterioventricular waves again divided into the two types, which is called as what? Yes, very good, tricuspid wave and bicuspid wave. I have explained about the tricuspid and bicuspid wave. Now we see what is written in this book. So the left arterioventricular wave is known as mitral wave or bicuspid wave, and it composed of two ventricular cups or flaps. Okay, as I have explained to you. Now the in the right side you have tricuspid wave, and it is formed by the three cups or your three flaps. So now this valve is attached to your some kind of fibrous connections and some kind of muscle which is called as papillary muscle. And these papillary muscles connected to your coronary tendon. Actually these muscles is playing important role in the opening and in the closing of these valves. Okay, so whenever we have to pump blood into the arteria, into the ventricle, so these valves is going to open, and these going open due to the contraction of your papillary muscles. So coronary tendon is going to pull up these flaps and to open the valve, and then by relaxation these valves close. And it is very important that it prevent the backflow of your blood into from ventricle to artery. So it is doesn't allow to move blood from ventricle to artery. It only allow blood to flow in only one direction. So this is the main function of these valves. Okay, so now we discuss the second type of valve, which is called as semilunar valve, and they are present in the opening of systematic aorta and pulmonary vein. So they can be called as aortic valve and pulmonary valve according to their position. So as you can see in this diagram here, you are going to see this is the tricuspid valve and this is the bicuspid valve. Okay, they have show with the diagram. Okay, so as here you can see with the orange color, these are the papillary muscles. So in the right part there is three papillary muscles, but in the left part there is going to compose of two papillary muscles. And this blue color lines, okay, these lines, these are the coordinate tendinae, and which is going to pull up your valves. Okay, so now your semilunar waves is composed of your half moon shape, so therefore they are called as semilunar waves, and they are made up of three flaps. Okay, so it's mean what is going to do. Your right part is made up of three flaps, and the wave which is present in your aorta and in your pulmonary artery, they are also tricuspid, mean they also have three flaps. So this is the main point that you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so and again there is written that they prevent the black backflow of your body from flow of your blood. So after discussing the all the valves which are present in your heart, now we discuss what is the action of your heart. So your heart is going to perform the four action. So as you can see, we are going to see action movies, that what our hero do in the action movies is going to kill many people and save all the kind and very beautiful people. So Now you're in this part in this movie, your heart is going to your hero. And what is the action of your heart? Your heart is going to perform four actions. So the first action is chronotropic action, inotropic action, demotropic action, and bathmotropic action. So these are the four actions which is performed by your hero, which is your heart. Okay, so now we discuss all of these four action and what is included in very simple action. Okay, just the name is going to be different and complicated, but the function and the role is very simple. Okay, so chronotropic action mean the frequency of your heartbeat and your heart rate. Simply you can see what is your heart rate. Okay, is going to include in your chronotropic action. And the two functions and two terms are irradiated out by your heart rate and your frequency of heartbeat. First is the tachycardia and bradycardia. So as the word tachycardia, so trachy means increase, so your heart rate is going to increase. And bradycardia means what? It is decreasing your heart rate. So it is the action of your heart. Okay, your heart is performing the action in increasing your heart rate, and your heart is performing the action in decreasing your heart rate. So always chronotropic action, your heart rate is going to be increased in tachycardia, decrease in bradycardia. Yes. Now the second action which is performed by your heart is the inotropic action. So in the inotropic action, the what kind of thing is included? Force of contraction is also the function of your heart muscles. Okay, so positive inotropic action means increase in the force of contraction, and the negative action mean decrease. Okay, so as you can see, if a hero, if it is a positive in the character, so it is going to increase his values. Okay, all the people like this hero because he is going to be in the he's going to help the needy and the poor peoples. But if a hero is maintaining and the negative role, then it is decreasing his values. So therefore always the negative action decreases and the positive action increases. Now the third action of your heart is your dromotropic action. So in the dromotropic action, what is going to do? Conduction of impulses. You know, our heart is composed of nodes, AV node, SA node. So all of these nodes is going to conduct the impulses in your heart. So actually what is the function of these heart? Actually your heart is an on factory to produce the impulses, to produce electric current in it. And due to these nodes, this action of heart is called as dromotropic action. So if the action is going to positive, it is going to increase your velocity of conduction of these impulses. If it is negative action, it means it is going to decrease your velocity of conduction. Now the fourth action of your heart is the bathmotropic action. So in the bathmotropic action, again the cardiac muscle is involved, and in this action excitability of cardiac muscle is involved, that your cardiac muscle is highly excited or low excited. So if the action is positive, it is going to increase the excitability of your cardiac muscle. And if the action is negative, then your cardiac muscle activity or elasticity is going to decrease. So these are the four actions of your heart. Now we are going to revise them. So first action of your heart is chronotropic action. In this action we see the frequency of your heart rate and your heartbeat. And in this type we have seen the two types of these action. First is the tachycardia and bradycardia. Tachycardia means your heart rate increases, bradycardia means your heart rate decreases. Yes. Now the second action of your heart is the inotropic action of heart. And inotropic means force of contraction of your heart, and the force of contraction is being produced by your cardiac muscle. Yes. And if this action is going to positive, it means your force of contraction is going to increase. And if it is going to negative, then your action is going to your conduction and your force of contraction is going to be decreases. Now the third action is the the dromotropic, and in the dromotropic we see impulse transfer in your heart, that your heart is going to pump your impulses, and if the action is positive then there is increase, and if the action is negative there is a decrease. Last and the fourth action of your heart is the bathmotropic action. In the bathmotropic action, what is going to conclude? Yes, you are right, excitability of your cardiac muscle. Okay, cardiac muscle are involved in the two actions. Okay, first is the inotropic action and then in the bathmotropic action. So the in the bathmotropic, excitability of cardiac muscle is counted, and if the action is positive then it is going to increase, and if the action is negative it is going to decrease. So yes, you have revised all the things. So this was all about the heart. Now at the last we see what is the regulatory action of your heart. All the actions of heart are continuously, that they are performing one after another, there is no stoppage in them, and it is essential for the heart to cope up with all the needs of your body. All the actions are altered with the stimulation of nerves. It means your heart rate can be increased, can be decreased, but there is no stoppage. Okay, we cannot say that your heart is going to stop the heart rate. Okay, stop the heartbeat, you cannot. If they stop then the death of the person can happen. Okay, but in your lifetime always the heart is going to pump, always force of contraction, force of relaxation, force of heart rate, heartbeat, and excitability of cardiac muscle. All of these action are going to perform, but they can increase and decrease but never stop. So these things are explained in the this paragraph. So what things are regulated and your heart? First is your nerves, and second is your hormones. So they can increase or decrease these actions, but not stop them. So yeah, we have discussed a whole heart from your cardiovascular system. Now I have told to you that your cardiovascular system is composed of two parts. First is the heart, second is the blood vessel. So now we are going to discuss the blood vessels, and you know very well about that, so there is no other thing to discuss in it. So now we discuss it. So your blood vessels, you know very well, your cardiovascular system and your circulatory system is composed of all the vessels, and there is many types of vessels. Okay, you can see here all the vessels is written. First your aorta. Okay, from your heart, aorta divides into arteries, then arteries divide into arterioles, then capillaries form. From capillaries venous system formed. First venules form, then venules divided to give veins, veins divided to give your vena cava, and then this vena cava again enter into your heart. So this is the whole division of your blood vessels. So now the blood vessel is again composed of two system. First is the arterial system, which composed of your oxygenated blood system. Okay, and second is the venous system. So now we are going to discuss this system, and we see what kind of division is included in it. So first you can see here that the arterial system is composed of your aorta from your heart, then arteries, then arterioles. So these three things is going to compose your arterial system. So the wall of your arterioles and arteries is formed by three layers. So now you can also discuss the histology of your arterial system. So again, as we have discussed in all the organs, three layers are present. First of all, the outermost layer is the tunica adventitia. Tunica adventitia is always made up of the connective tissues. Okay, and some kind of fibrous layer also. This is the first layer. Now we discuss what is the second layer, and second layer is always muscular in nature, so it is called as middle tunica media. So always M for media, M for muscles, so it is going to form your smooth muscles. Then always the inner layer is the tunica intermedia. It is in the word intimina means eye, and inner means inner. So it is going to made up of your endothelial cells. Okay, So there is a lamina also, which is composed of elastic tissues, and this lamina is composed of two types of elastic tissue. First is the external and internal elastic tissue. So external elastic lamina is going to present between your tunica adventitia and tunica media. Inner elastic lamina is going to present between your tunica media and tunica intima. So it's mean in the all three layers, the layer of elastic layer is also going to present, because we need elasticity, because our heart is going to pump and relax, it's going to contract and relax. For this relaxation and contraction, we need space, we need elasticity, so that there is no happen that the layers of heart broke up. Okay, we need elasticity. So this elasticity is going to be given by this lamina. So now we discuss some things about the aorta, okay, and its vessel. The aorta and vessels are more elastic and have more smooth muscles, and okay, so more elasticity is needed because it is going to transport in your whole body, so it needs more elasticity. And they are become narrow, and their wall become thinner as they reaching the peripheral mean in lower layer, lower part. And the aorta of the artery gradually decreases their size at the end of it, and it means their diameter at the side of it gradually decreases. Okay, first is the 25, then after 25 there will be 4 millimeter, and there will be gradually decrease in the resistance. Then there is a peripheral resistance, which is flow in the blood of arterioles, and this is called as resistance vessel, because in your artery there is the resistance given to your blood, and due to this resistance the pressure produced, which is called as arterial pressure. So we can always say arterial pressure, not we cannot say ventricular pressure. Okay, there is always arterial pressure, because why? Always the resistance produced in your arteries, not in your veins. Okay, so arteries are going to continue and divide into your smaller capillaries, and capillaries are very thin, very small, have very small diameter of 5 to 8 micrometer, and they are functionally very important because they are going to exchange the material between your blood and your tissues, and it is really important because capillaries is going to give all the nutrients to your cells. So without capillaries we cannot survive, and they are very important for us. Now there is the venous system. So actually the capillary system is going to connect your arterial system and your ventricular system. Now your ventricular system is composed of same three things. First is the venules, okay, your venules, then your your venules, your veins, and then your vena cava. So these three things are going to compose your venous system. Now from capillary, venules form, venules divide to give veins, veins divide and again combine up into the vena cava, and then vena cava is going to enter into your, yes, right, atrium. Now as you can see, the diameter of venules is about 20 micrometer, and with the time a large quantity of blood is held into it, so they are called as capacitance vesicles. As you see, your arterial veins is called as, yes, resistance vesicle, but your venous system and venules is called as capacitance vessel, because they have capacity to keep your blood, they have no resistance in them, so therefore there is no pressure in your veins. And you know very well, the pressure decreases as the veins divided, so they cannot be called as resistance vesicle, they are called as capacitance vesicles. So, and as you see, at the diameter it decreases as you move from venules to veins and veins to vena cava, so diameter is changing. So now the table is given to you, and in this table blood vessels, their diameter, their thickness, their elasticity, smooth muscles, and fibrous tissues is given. Okay, so the diameter is, you can learn it and you can revise that, but I have going to explain elasticity, smooth muscle, and the fibrous. So the in aorta and in all the your arterial system and your venule system, so I have divided them, ये भी इसके अंदर आएगा, ठीक है, terminal arterioles. So in your arterial system, elasticity is more, okay, but gradually decreases. Okay, then in capillary elasticity is totally absent. In venous elasticity is absent, but in veins and vena cava some kind of elasticity is present, but it is less. Okay, you can see here. And now in the smooth muscle, so aorta is smooth muscle is less, then artery is more, and terminal artery have more smooth muscle because they have to contract and relax like heart. Okay, because they carry the contraction and the relaxation of heart along with them. Now in the capillary, again elasticity and smooth muscle both are absent in your capillary. This is the really important thing. Then in the venous, again muscle is absent more and more. So smooth muscle is going to more in your venous and vena cava. Last is the fibrous city. So aorta has more fibrous tissue, then moderate, less in the venous, then moderate, and more in the vena cava. So vena cava and aorta, you can see here, vena cava and aorta has more fibrous tissue, while all the other things means aorta, or sorry, arteries, कैपिलरीज में तो लेस है, मॉडरेट है, बाकी सब में मॉडरेट है. आयोटा और सिर्फ किस में, यस आयोटा और उसमें, सॉरी फॉर डैट, या वेना कैवा, इन दोनों में फिब्रस टिश्यू इज मोर, बाकियों में मॉडरेट. ओके, so now we have discussed about the venous system. Now we see what are the complications in the blood vessels, what are the complications in them. So first is the aorta and arteries. So in aorta and arteries, arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis, this is the very important term, and they are confusing the students, okay, because they have very similar nature. So first is the arteriosclerosis, as I can zoom on in it. So, arteriosclerosis is the disease of artery associated with the hardening and thickening and loss of elasticity in the walls of vessels. So, what is going to do? Three things is going to happen. First, hardening. Your arteries is going to hard. Second is the thickness. It is going to thick. Thickness word means what? First, it has this diameter. Okay, this diameter. Then due to this arteriosclerosis, what is going to happen? A mass is going to deposit on it. As you can see here, its diameter decreases and it became hard. Its elasticity is going to lose up. Okay, because a hard a layer is composed on it, or this disease is called as arteriosclerosis. Now other disease is the atherosclerosis, and in the atherosclerosis, disease is marked by narrowing of lumen of the artery vessel due to the deposition of cholesterol. So in arteriosclerosis, cholesterol is going to deposit on it. Okay, now I explain the difference between them. Arteriosclerosis is it this time, as I divided here. So it is not a complete layer, it is just like that, कि सिर्फ एक पार्ट के अंदर थोड़ा सा वो जिसे कहते हैं ना कि इम्बोलस और थ्रोम्बस का आ जाना, ठीक है, कोई भी क्लोटेड ब्लड का आके फंस जाना यहाँ पर, तो उसको हम कहते हैं आर्टीरियोस्क्लेरोसिस. जबकि एथेरोस्क्लेरोसिस में पूरा कोलेस्ट्रॉल पूरी ब्लड वेसल्स के अंदर जम जाता है. ठीक है, so arterioles, when toned, the smooth muscles of artery increase the hypertension. कैपिलरी की बात करते हैं तो परमेबिलिटी इसमें होती है क्योंकि ये इंक्रीज होती है शॉक या एडिमा और लीकेज ऑफ फ्लूइड की वजह से यहाँ पर हो सकता है. इसके अलावा वेंस की बात करें तो वहाँ पे इन्फ्लेमेशन हो सकती है, एंड देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ थ्रोम्बोसिस एंड थ्रोम्बस, and this clot form in the venules which is called as thrombus, and if this clot begin to move in your body, then it is called as embolism and embolus. Okay, and this embolus is going, if it is going into your heart, brain, or your lungs, then it causes serious complications because it is going into your main organs. Then there is a division of circulation. We have two types of circulation. First is the systematic circulation, then is the pulmonary circulation. As the name indicates, first we discuss the systematic circulation. So in the systematic circulation is the greater circulation, because you are going to pump your blood from the left ventricle to whole your blood vessels, your arterial system, and then you are returning back through your venous system. Now from arterial system you are going to your capillary system, exchange, and then after exchanging you are going to venous system and again enter back into your right atrium of your heart. So this is called this circulation is called as systematic circulation. So as you can see this systematic circulation, so this is the heart. Okay, now I am changing the color so that you can easily detect it. I'm going to show it with the black color. Okay, so I'm raising it, so black color will be visible on this diagram. So now this is your heart. Okay, so now where the systematic circulation is going to do, this is your capillary and your body part. Okay, upper body part, your lower body part, this is your lungs. Okay, so what is going to do, from your aorta this blood is moving into your arterial system, into your capillary, then capillary to veins, and then again return back into your what, right atrium. So this circulation is called a systematic circulation. Now we move to the pulmonary circulation. So in the pulmonary circulation, this is the lesser circulation or small circulation, because you are pumping your blood from the right ventricles to lungs only, not in the whole blood, in the whole body, only to the lungs. And then from the lungs pulmonary through the pulmonary artery, and then from the lungs pulmonary veins came out and they enter into your what, left atrium. Yes, you know the concept. So this is called as pulmonary circulation. As you can see here, and now you can see this is the what, pulmonary artery. It is going to deliver your what, deoxygenated blood into your lungs. So as you can see here, from lungs again the exchange of capillary and then arteries form. So these arteries are called as what, yeah, you are right. So these arteries are going to form your what, and these arteries as you can see here divide into two layers, two veins. So this is called as pulmonary vein and going to enter into your left lung. Okay, and from the right atrium oxygenated blood is going to your lungs. So this is the concept of pulmonary circulation. So I hope that you will understand this lecture, and I have tried my best to teach you this lecture, to see and to uh, teach you all the concept of it. And in the next video we will discuss about the cardiac muscles also. So see this video also, I have uploaded on this channel, and you can see here on it. So thank you very much for watching my videos, for liking me, and if you like this video please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon to get the notification of all the videos which I have uploaded. Thank you so much again, एंड टेक केयर ऑफ़ योरसेल्फ। मिलेंगे अगले लेक्चर में, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।